Hello and welcome to Harrop's Fold News. I'm Aidan.
And I'm Flo. Our top story today.
An exclusive interview with the international rugby superstar Adrian Morley.
And now we go to Michael from our sports team.
You currently play for Warrington Wolves. Please take us through your average working day.
The average working day, we meet about 9:30. Some guys get in early if they need to do extra stretching or flexibility work. But 9:30 the session starts, and then you normally split into two groups. One group does weights session, the other group does specific skills or prehab, which is working on anything that needs strengthening to prevent injuries. Then that probably takes about an hour, half an hour for each session. Then you swap round, so that's about an hour. Then you go and do video work. If you're coming up to playing a game, it's a preview of the team you're going to play, or if you've just played a game, it's a review of the game, what your mistakes were, what you did good. If it's a preview, who you think you're going to attack, who do you think the weak links are, that kind of thing. Then we'll go out on the field and do a field session, and again, depending on when in the week it is, if it's closer to the game, you wouldn't do fitness or anything too taxing or hard on the body. But if it's earlier in the week, we might do a bit of fitness work. So we're probably on the field for about an hour and a half, and then we're probably done about 1:30. Again, depending on if you need anything individual, there's the physio there, or doctors, or anything you need.
Warrington were the best team last year, but then got knocked out of the playoffs. What will be different this year?
Well, I think the fact that we finished top of the league and we had the best for and against, and people were saying we should have gone all the way and won the grand final. I think that's the fact we did get knocked out. That's a driving force and a motivation to do even better this year. We've started reasonably well. We got beat at the weekend, but we started well. So I think the fact that we were so dominant last year and really did fail at the final hurdle, that will be the factor that'll hopefully get us over the line this year.
What advice would you give to any aspiring rugby players?
Just to work hard. I mean, different players have different skills and ability, but if you work hard, no matter what your ability or your skill level is at, if you work hard, you'll give yourself every opportunity to go as far as you can. I mean, I'm not the most skillful player, but I've got I like to think a good work ethic, and I do work hard. So I think if you've got the ability as well, it's even more important to. I think it's your duty to work hard and try and make that ability go as far as it can.
Could you tell how you work through amateur to professional?
How I work through?
Amateur to professional.
Well, just amateur was just for fun, really. I mean, I still do enjoy playing rugby league, but when you're playing amateur, it was just all about fun, playing with your mates, and really enjoying training, really enjoying playing the games. And I'd still do enjoy playing, and still enjoy training. But it's a little bit different now. There's a lot more seriousness with professionalism. Obviously, we get paid, so technically it's our job. But yeah, there's a big difference. The fact there's you win or lose in amateur, it's it's just all about the enjoyment and all the fun. Whereas there's more of an emphasis on winning. When you're professional, there's a lot more at stake. So I've got to pinch myself sometimes that this is a game I used to play just for fun, just for a bit of enjoyment with my mates. I'm actually getting paid to do that job and to play that sport now. So it's fantastic that we get the chance to do that, but it's quite a difference between amateur and professional.
You have won every domestic game in rugby league and in Australia. What is the most memorable to you?
I'd say the grand final in Australia was playing with the Sydney Roosters. We won in 2002. Just the fact that in Australia rugby league is it's a lot bigger sport. It's got a higher profile, and it's not as big as soccer or football over in the UK, but it's up there. And to go, I was the only English player playing over there at the time, and to actually go all the way and win the grand final there, the whole city went absolutely mad, and it was a pretty special time.
Thank you for your time, Adrian. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Michael.
As you may know, on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th of June, we will be celebrating the Queen's 60th anniversary on the throne. This celebration is called the Diamond Jubilee. On the 2nd of June, the Queen will attend an Epsom Derby. Then, on the 3rd, a big lunch will be held at the River Thames, where she will lead a fleet of 1,000 boats in a special event. This is followed by a big concert held at Buckingham Palace on the 4th of June. The Diamond Jubilee is finished by a service of thanksgiving at St Paul's Cathedral, which the Queen will attend. Her Majesty has been on a celebration tour to mark her Diamond Jubilee. Her grandson, Prince Harry, has also been in the Diamond Jubilee too. To Commonwealth countries such as Belize, Jamaica, the Caribbean and Latin America, which he has described as an amazing and emotional trip. In an interview with him, he has also said that he would like to take the Queen out to town to celebrate.
The Queen will also be visiting Salford. It was announced that Her Majesty the Queen and His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh will be officially opening BBC North on Friday 23rd of March 2012. This is because many BBC departments from West London have moved to BBC North, and so many journalists and other productive staff had to move up to Salford. Here's one of them talking to our reporter, Start. I know.
Thank you for, and I'm Anu, and I'm going to be interviewing Miss Jane Andrews, the BBC journalist. So Jane, what do you think about Salford?
Well, I have to confess I didn't know very much about Salford before I moved here and had never really spent any time in the region, but I've been really surprised about how quickly we've settled in and how much I like the area. Found a nice place to live and it's really close to work, and now I live and work in Salford.
How's the new building?
Yeah, it's good. There's been lots of new technology brought in and there's been a few problems with that, but only things that you would normally expect in a new building with lots of new equipment, and so settling in and it's all starting to work really well.
If you could choose to move back to London, would you?
There's probably some people who've moved up who might decide to move back after a while, but certainly for me, this is my new home.
Will Media City improve Salford, and why do you think this?
I think it will improve Salford because it gives it a new reason for people to come and visit. It's a new kind of centre for media organisations and media people, and encourage them to come and move their businesses here. There's lots going on there. It's going to really sort of put the place on the map in terms of the media world, TV and radio, and there's lots of new filming going on there, and we're hoping lots of other new events will come and take place there too.
So thank you, Miss Andrews. Now back to Aidan and Flor for the main news.
Thank you for that, Anu. Now, international news. Recently, the Connie 2012 campaign has been all over most of the social network sites, such as Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. We've investigated what it's all about. A video was released about what Uganda rebel leader Joseph Kony does and the campaign to capture him. A while ago, a man named Jason Russell went to Uganda and found out what was happening. Kony and his men in the Lord's Resistance Army have kidnapped children and made them into soldiers. Thousands of families have lost a child through abduction. In 2012, Jason went to Washington, D.C. and met politicians and discussed capturing of Kony, and the US government agreed. As long as search for Joseph Kony goes on, the campaign will continue until he's found. Now to Sophie for Showbiz News.
Thank you. Kerry Katona has reacted to the news that 7 months pregnant Stacey Solomon was found smoking when she was meant to be at an interview. Some cameras that were nearby caught some photos of the X Factor star taking puffs of the fatal stick. An interview with OK Magazine was arranged. The interviewers asked Stacey, "Do you know of the harm you could be causing your unborn baby?" Stacey replied, "Smoking is not healthy and I'm not proud of it." Then she burst into sudden tears, startling interviewers. In the end, Kerry Katona A close friend of Stacey's said she only smokes Silka, which isn't even a proper cigarette. Stacey also confessed that she used to smoke 5 to 10 cigarettes a day, but she cut down when she became pregnant. Now here's Devon interviewing a nurse about the dangers of smoking.
My name's Devon and I'm from Harrop News. I'm on the phone to District Nurse Karen Thompson to discuss smoking when you're pregnant. Hi Karen.
Hiya.
What are the effects of smoking when you're pregnant?
Right, well, if you're smoking, you're taking in nicotine and carbon monoxide, which are toxins, and they can reduce the amount of oxygen that you're giving to your baby. And basically, it's like forcing your baby to breathe through a narrow straw. So if you've got access to a straw, if you all hold your noses and breathe through this straw and just see how difficult it is, and try doing it for a few minutes, how hard it is, that's what you'd be putting your baby through.
What's your advice for pregnant ladies then?
Advice to pregnant ladies is try and give up. Do your best to give up, really.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Thanks, Sophie. Now for the school news. The Harrop Student Voice team have decided to make a change to the school menu, proposing to change the food in the canteen. The school representatives, Peter and Jack, approached the school senior level leaders in an attempt to make this drastic advertisement. After a month of hard work and determination, on Monday the 27th of February, Harrop Student Voice achieved their aims. Our school correspondent, Rhiannon, has the story on this successful campaign.
What did you do to persuade the senior level learners to change the food?
Well, what we did was we went to an SLL meeting, me and one of my associates, and we chatted to the senior level leaders and decided with them what would be the best course of action and what would be the best way to try and get what the students wanted, but also within the school's boundaries.
What have the students' and teachers' responses been to the new menu?
They've been really supportive and they've really helped us along and helped us out with Chartwells, which is the company that makes the food. And that's just really helped us achieve our aims and make it better for Student Voice.
Has there been any bad responses? What are they?
Well, I think in any situation you're always going to have negative responses and positive responses, but I think in light of recent events we have had an overwhelming positive response.
Why did you start the Student Voice and when?
We've started the Student Voice not too long ago. We've always had a sort of a student council, but Student Voice hasn't been around for that long, but in the time that we've had, we've achieved quite a lot.
What do you do at Student Voice?
At Student Voice, our main aim is to try and think about what the students would want and ask the students what they do want and try and get that into the school and implement it the best we can.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you very much, you're welcome.
In other school news, our own Christian caught up with the author and poet Donovan after a workshop with 8Y on World Book Day.
My name's Christine and I'm here at Harrop Falls School on World Book Day to interview Donovan. Hi Donna. Happy World Book Day. What have you been up to today at Harrop Falls?
Well, I've been working with Year 7 and Year 8 on story planning. So talking about being a children's author and talking about how to write a story.
What do you think of World Book Day?
I love World Book Day. All children's authors love World Book Day because it's a great chance for us to go into schools. And we find that even schools who maybe haven't had an author in for the whole year will get someone in on World Book Day, so it's a good day.
You're an author yourself. Who was your inspiration when you were young?
I think part of my inspiration was from my father, who was a journalist. He was an editor of our local town newspaper, and he was always writing stories, obviously real stories about things that happen in our town, but I believe that was probably my original inspiration.
What are your top tips for any aspiring authors?
I think I would say, first of all, be sure that you love reading, because if you're not reading a lot, your writing won't be very good. So read everything you can get your hands on, read lots and lots of good books, and then just start trying your own. Try out different ideas, different styles. But eventually, I think if you do a lot of writing, then you'll settle on a style that's good for you.
Many thanks for your time, Donna. This has been Christian for Harrop Falls News.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for us today. Join us again at 6 o'clock for the 6 o'clock news. Goodbye.
Goodbye.